Hi, it's Adam. Welcome to the Athlete's Pursuit of Excellence training vlog number 9. As usual, the vlog will be divided into 6 parts that will help you be the best athlete you can possibly be. So in the first part, we will go in detail on my physical training. I will share you one of my most favorite explosivity exercise. Then we will talk about mental training. This week we will talk about focus. After that, we will go to the video of the week. We will talk about the victory after a hard defeat with Anthony Joshua. Then I'll share you the book of the week and the album that I listened to the most on the bike. I will finish the vlog by answering your question. So let's go. We start right away. So for physical training this week, the goal was to add a little bit of volume and do it mainly outside, so it was not too hard on motivation, while making sure to be able to do specific interval work on Zwift. So I started the week with the 1 hour 50 recovery ride on the fat bike. The goal here was just to flush the legs and enjoy the fresh air. Tuesday, I did a 3-hour training on Zwift. A workout that I had the goal to create muscle fatigue, so 3 times 18 minutes with gradual increase in intensity. So the second goal of the workout was to add leg speed to addition in the muscle fatigue. So 8 times 15 seconds at 650 watts plus 4 times 15 seconds separated into 10 seconds seated and 10 second max sprints. The general objective here was to simulate a race where there's a good tempo until people start to attack. And Wednesday, I did a great endurance ride of fat bike, so a little more than 7 hours and 76.5 kilometers. A memorable ride. I mean, we only ride on the road maybe like 3K. We left Prévost, we climbed into the Parc des Falaises here in Prévost to go to Piémont. Then we took the Wizard to Saint-Adèle. Then we go up to the Mica to Châteauclair to finish at the top of the Mont Loup-Garou. For me, fat bike is just a perfect method to be able to keep the volume during the winter without being bored. Tuesday, I did a max sprint training, so 8 times 15 seconds all out. That helped me a lot. What helped me a lot to motivate me in a sprint workout like this is really to take the sprint segment on Zwift and try to always go faster than the previous interval. On Friday, I did another fat bike endurance ride, shorter this time, but with a higher pace, where the goal was to keep my heart rate between 140 and 150 BPM. And as usual, I did 3 musculation sessions, 2 core sessions, and 1 explosive session. Following the high demand, I will explain one of my favorite exercises of explosive strength training. So from now on, I will be presenting one each week. So this week, the exercise involves jumping off a platform and falling on like one leg. I do this 5 repetitions for each leg. The goal is really to jump and make sure that the landing is smooth and stable as possible. This exercise is excellent for working on stability, but also on explosiveness. And in addition, unlike most traditional lower body exercise, it trains the explosive retraction rather than extension. So to go back to the training, this week ended abruptly because Sunday I got sick and I did not have the chance to train. So overall, it still gives me a week of 19 hours and 41 minutes with a total training load of 767 TSS. So now let's go to the mental training of this week. We're going to talk about concentration. So I will read you the text and I encourage you to follow with me and take notes. Focus. Clarity. The definition of focus. Focus. Noun. The main or central point of something, especially of attention or interest. Source. Cambridge Dictionary. Focus is the ability to put your attention wherever, whenever, and for how long you want. Power, the point of focus, shape, experience. Freedom of mind comes with the ability to control focus. You live what you pay attention to. Where you put your focus shape your experience. Realize that everything that enters and happens in your mind form the way you think and impact how you view and experience the world. Acknowledge and appreciate the power you possess over your subjective experience of life. Actively thinking and focusing on something inevitably makes it easier to notice. There's a crucial importance in the release of toxic thoughts loop and an essential point to be made for the value of positive thinking. Focus your attention on what you want to happen now, not on what you want to avoid. The more you focus on something, the more you will see it in your life. Visualization is a key practice to repeat how you want the process to happen. With the use of the breath, release the toxic point of focus and actively reconcentrate on the thought, action, event that are serving you. When you are in a toxic focus loop, your aim is to just see how fast you can exit it. Warning: distraction weakens attention. A wealth of information equals a poverty of attention. Your ability to focus and go deep is a superpower in an overstimulated society. Attention is one of your most valuable resources, and you have a limited amount of it. Invest it carefully and use it only on meaningful activities. Here's a quote from Yuval Noah Harari. In the past, censorship worked by blocking the flow of information. In the 21st century, censorship worked by flooding people with irrelevant information. We just don't know what to pay attention to, and often spend our time investigating and debating side issues. In ancient time, having power meant having access to data. Today, having the power meant me knowing what to ignore. The 21st century superpower is the ability to choose wisely and only give our attention to what matters. Following this ideal is becoming increasingly hard and valuable. It is only possible if there are clear boundaries in place and a release of the fear of missing out and ignorance of uncertain subjects. Never be ashamed to be uninformed about some subjects and confidently admit that you honestly don't know and even to an extinction don't care. Reclaim your attention by reducing the amount of distraction and training your mind to be okay with boredom. Your guiding star is to only engage with things that deliver value in your life. Be willing to be bored. Reduce the amount of info in your life to give your brain some relaxation. It will allow your brain to rest and process the valuable information better. Give your brain a break. We did not evolve to constantly be stimulated by the latest news email. Get away from the urgency illusion and break your addictive behavior towards those type of stimulus. P.S. Boredom is only possible if there's a lack of attention. It's not dependent on the intensity of the stimulus. Be careful with what you feed your mind with. Be selective of all distractions that enter your mind. Notice them and decide if they are helping you. Treat the contents of your consciously in your all stimulus that are not useful. Objective, deep and selective focus. Bring a single focus to everything you do. Quality attention bring immersion and joy. Generally, it takes time to reach intense focus, meaning you should not underestimate the consequence of distraction. You must remember that eliminating disturbance produces a possibility for creation. And we have a quote here from James Allen in As a Man Thinketh. The smaller the area of focus, the greater the mind's clarity/power. Improve your cognitive ability with the practice of an uninterrupted concentration. Appreciate the sentiment of fulfillment that comes with letting go of the impulsion and accepting the initial emptiness that comes with it. Taking pride in cultivating selective focus, train your brain to maintain deep attention on what truly matters in your life. Using every moment of disturbance in your day-to-day existence as a practice that encourage and develop the mastery of placing your focus on whatever you want, whenever you want, and for how long you want. Now let's switch to the video of the week. This week, we will look at the interview with Anthony Joshua following his victory against Andy Ruiz. We must remember here that Anthony Joshua was in an extremely stressful situation. If he lost a second fight in a row against Andy Ruiz, his career would took a very difficult turn. I really think it's an important lesson because how quick we can get back after being knocked down is one of the most crucial attributes of the optimal performer. And overcoming failure as performers and athletes needs to be our greatest strength. So I play you the video.
As I said, one day when I release a book, I'll talk through my career. Listen, careers are all about experience. There's no losing, there's no winning. It's just about creating great memories in this game that we all love. I took my L and I bounced back. Anyone can do it. Life is a roller coaster. What do you want me to do? Give up? I hear certain man saying, oh, I should retire. Come on, man. We love this sport. Andy, are you ready to retire? Are you ready to retire? Exactly, he's a warrior. He wants to go again. Please respect us. This is what we love to do. I respect Andy.
So just wow. Let me just repeat you what Joshua just said. So career are all about experiences. There is no losing, there is no winning. It's just about creating great memories in this game that we all love. I took a L and I bounced back. Anyone can do it. Life is a roller coaster. What would you want me to do? Give up? I hear certain men saying, "Oh, I should retire. I should retire." Come on, man. We love this sport. I mean, just incredible. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to add a lot more to what he just said. I will for sure rewatch it next time I fail. So just a small PS here before we get to the book of the week. We really need to change the way we perceive failure and recognize that the only two ways to truly lose is to give up or ignore listen feedback. So we need to learn in defeat. We must see losses as learning opportunity that can help us understand what we need to improve. So now let's switch to the book of the week. So the book of the week is Einstein and the Art of Mindful Cycling by Ben Irvine. So Ben Irvine has a PhD from the University of Cambridge in History and Philosophy of Science. The overall goal of this book, I would say, is to help us achieve balance in our modern world. Honestly, this book is really a fun read. Ben Irvine parallels between how cycling can help us live more like Einstein and more like consciously our intelligence, but also have like a practical aspect that allow us to really like apply those tangents that may seem trivial at first, but once compound over time result in a better quality of life. Honestly, if you were looking for a perfect reading for a good cycling friend or to convince someone to start cycling, I just think you found the perfect gift. So again, the book of the week is Einstein: The Art of Mindful Cycling by Ben Irving. So now let's switch to the album that I listened to the most this week. This week is the new album by Billy Woods and Kenny Segal, Hiding Places. Billy Woods is a New York rapper, and Billy Segal is a Los Angeles producer. On the album, Billy Woods' lyrics focus on his fear, on his doubt, on his irritation. I will warn you, the way Billy Woods arrange his lyrics and his rhyme, you must really, really pay attention to understand what he's saying. But in my opinion, I mean, the experimental and abstract beat that Kenny Stingle give to Billy Woods just match perfectly his rapping style. It's definitely one of my favorite underground rap album of the year. So finally, let's go to the question of the week. So first question. Evelyn Ward asked me, "What book do you suggest I read to help me move towards excellence in mountain bike?" I mean, all the book I presented so far and that I will present in my future blog. But sincerely, I believe that it's not really a definitive answer. It depends a lot on your strengths and weaknesses. Um, that being said, if you're starting to have interest in sports psychology, I really think the Champion's Mind is a really good place to start. So next question. Matthias asked me, pasta or rice? I mean, if we compare like white rice to white pasta, honestly, their nutrients are pretty much the same. I think rice has a better reputation for cyclists because pasta recipes are generally like fatter. But it's certain that if we look in detail at the nutrients, it's true that rice is a little less caloric for the same amount. But the pasta has the advantage to have a little bit more protein. I think the question is really the question should be, do you digest gluten well? I mean, if the answer is yes, go for what you like best, I would say. And if the answer is no, I mean, eat rice. So third question, Xavier asked me, how do you keep motivation level up when you are in a day full time? Okay, so let's bring to mind the motivation equation. So the motivation equation is what? Is motivation equals value times expectancy divided by impulsivity times delay. So our goal here is very to increase our value. So the intensity, like that we want something times expectancy, so our trust in the ability to get what we're working for, and to decrease our impulsivity, so our ability to delay gratification, and to also decrease the delay, so the distance that there is between us and our goals. So, I mean, Xavier, if you want more detailed explanation, I invite you to go read a text I wrote on motivation on my Facebook page, or also to watch vlog number 1 where we talk about it. Last question. Atlas Sports Cycling asked me, what's in the bowl? So in this photo in the bowl, there's if I remember well, a piled banana. There's oats. There's honey. There's flax seeds. There's sesame seeds. There's frozen berries and a little bit of plain yogurt. And I think it's about it. So yeah, that's it for this week. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you learned something that will be useful in your development. And I hope to see you next week for vlog number 10. During this time, I wish you a great training week. And yeah, that's all for this week. Bye bye.